Before starting the orientation, I want to give you a brief overview of what will be covered and give a few directions to help maximize your time and understand what is expected of you. We've designed this orientation to equip new and potential faculty with a basic understanding of how online courses are delivered at Cornerstone, and to introduce you to the skills and tools that you will need to be successful as an online facilitator. Unlike our typical online courses, though, in PGS, you will be largely on your own completing the activities. There are no discussion forums or group collaboration activities that you'll need to plan for. Rather, you'll independently complete the activities outlined and submit them for my review. We are trying to make this as convenient for you as possible, so it is set up so that you can start and finish the orientation at your leisure. Generally, I'll be available for questions and be actively reviewing faculty submissions, your submissions. However, if I am unavailable for any given period of time, someone else from the PGS Academic Services team will be monitoring this Moodle course for questions in my absence. This orientation is not meant to be an introduction to Cornerstone or to PGS. If you have not completed the PGS New Faculty Orientation, please do so. Nor is this meant to be a technical training course on how to use Moodle. There are tutorials and helpful resources available to you to learn how to navigate Moodle and to leverage the power available to interact with students and assess their learning. While this orientation could theoretically be completed in a few hours on a Saturday or something, I encourage you to take time to absorb and reflect on the readings in particular. It might be helpful to plan on setting aside a few hours each week for 3 weeks to complete the various activities. Again, how you structure it is really up to you, but what I really want you to do is to take time to reflect and absorb what you're reading and doing. Let's take a quick look at what you'll be completing as part of the online faculty orientation. We start with an introduction to online at CU, including a quick look at a typical online course. During this first unit, you'll also update your Moodle profile so that it is ready for when you start teaching online. You'll notice that on the left there are a number of check marks or empty boxes. As you complete activities, please be sure to indicate your completion by checking off the items. Some items will check off automatically upon viewing it or submitting what you're required to do. This will ultimately get tracked in the course completion status block on the left, so you can monitor how you're doing, and I can do so as well as we interact together as you complete the activities. Moving on, the next couple folders include some readings. Be sure to cover those. They're pretty straightforward and easy to read, but there are a couple items in particular I want you to pay attention to and take some time to reflect on. This understanding the 4 instructional roles of an online teacher, and then this 10 best practices for teaching online. These are 2 things I want you to read and take some time to thoughtfully reflect on those things. Nothing you have to actually submit to me or anything, but I just want you to process through what it means to you and how you've, based on your experiences and such. The next folder includes directions for installing a helpful instructional tool called Jing. Something that has been challenging in online learning is the spontaneous ability to sit alongside someone and explain a concept or provide clarification using audio and visuals. Well, Jing is the tool we're going to look at in this orientation, and it's a free tool that allows us to create a quick and informal instructional element that you can use to support students that may be struggling with a particular concept or assignment. Some have found it useful as a way to introduce a course and set expectations in a more personal way using their voice, more so at least than a mere text on the screen. We want you to be skilled enough to be able to produce an informal screencast to help students when necessary. You'll practice this in our orientation here by creating a screencast of your own and submitting a link to it for me to review. I'll provide some feedback. Don't worry. It's just we want you to try it. I think you'll find it actually easier than it might seem at first. Continuing on, we will look at strategies for managing asynchronous discussions. This is a skill that we all need to develop and improve on, as it's a activity that we have in pretty much every week of every online course is asynchronous discussions in forums. There's a how to deal with disruptive online students. There's 6 scenarios. I want you to choose 2 of them and respond to them. I think that will be a helpful practice to deal with some of the more behavioral problems that we might encounter that you may not encounter in a typical face-to-face class, or you might deal with differently than you would have in a face-to-face class. We follow that with synchronous tools, and something that's relatively new to Cornerstone is the Google Hangouts. They allow us to hold virtual office hours that have audio and video, as well as the ability to share your screen for students to see and vice versa. So whether you're familiar with this tool yet or not, I want you to connect with me in a Google Hangout for a couple minutes. Doesn't have to be very long. Just shoot me an email, or if you happen to see me online and I'm available, I'll answer an invite to a Hangout. So take a look at that. Give that a try. It's not a big deal. You just need a webcam and a microphone on your computer, and you should be all set. A critical aspect of any education really is receiving constructive feedback beyond a simple grade or score or good work comment. We have available a wonderful tool that allows us to provide pretty quick and easy substantive feedback. So browse through this book module that's in Moodle here, options for providing quality feedback. And focus your time on looking at Turnitin's grade mark tool. It's quite a powerful tool that allows us to provide some good feedback to our students. Finally, I want you to finish off with one last reading, a good article on building community in our online classrooms. It's an important outcome of much research that has been done in online learning is the importance of building community. It is possible to do so, but it can be challenging, particularly if we aren't intentionally taking advantage of opportunities to do so. So read the article and then finish this orientation by writing a brief reflection, summarizing what benefited you the most having completed it. Even if you're an experienced online teacher, share something that you've learned or something that you've been reminded of that you consider to be the most important thing that sort of came out of this orientation. Doesn't have to be very long. This also provides you an opportunity to try out the Turnitin tool by submitting this reflection to that tool, that Dropbox, and be able to see that from a student perspective, to see the originality, feedback, and as well as my feedback that I'll put something in there as well for you to see how that looks. So anyway, I wanted to really thank you for in advance for taking the time to invest in preparing to teach with us here at Cornerstone. I welcome you to Cornerstone University's PGS Online community. If you have any questions along the way, please do not hesitate to reach out by posting your question to the general forum or by emailing me using the contact information in the course.